What's going on, everybody? So I'm super frustrated right now, and I'll explain why. It's just, oh man. Bashed for about 3 minutes. I had one kind of like mediocre, not good landing where it kind of bounced off the back end off this wheelie bar, and like literally it bent this like completely up against the wing here. I have already bent this back because for some reason my SD card in my camera went out, like I guess right when I tried to start recording my bass session, which is super awesome. So I didn't get any of that. And when that happened, it literally tacoed this rear drive shaft right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Like it is literally just almost an L. And from what it looks like it actually even cracked this rear chassis brace. And I'm telling you guys, it was not a bad, like crazy hard landing. It was just kind of like boop. Like no, I didn't even think it could have possibly hurt anything. Another thing is the punch is turned down really low. So I'm gonna try and pull this out, get it straightened out enough to bash it completely stock again. But I am so sorry I didn't get it on film. I am like literally so disappointed that I didn't get to show you guys the crash, because it was literally nothing, and this thing like literally almost tacoed the chassis or something. I don't even understand. But I'm gonna pull this rear drive shaft out, try and get it at least relatively as straight as possible, and I'm taking this thing back out as soon as I get that to go bash again, so I can actually get it on film this time. Well, this was a day of problems. Here's the Team K.O.R.H Dementor. We're running 4S right now, and I was feeling out this rig and had a ton of problems. I just had a day of problems, so I'm so sorry, everybody. I got a new GoPro. This is a new to me GoPro, and the audio settings were set to where it was super sensitive to sound, so it didn't record any of the sound because everything was loud. There was a little bit of wind, so the audio cut in and out, and it was just really annoying, and I couldn't tolerate it, so I had to voice over, and I am extremely sorry. All right, so going over the few problems, the many problems I found with this truck right out of the gate. The steering servo is absolutely horrible. It is horrible. It doesn't want to turn this at all. And here's another problem: range. It ran out of range already. So those are two problems I have found within the first couple seconds of driving this truck. In the unfortunate time that I wasn't able to record, I had a problem with the SD card prior to this, which is what I was talking about in that opening part. For some reason, it just didn't record, and I drove this thing for literally 2.5 to 3 minutes, and then the chassis brace bent, cracked, whatever, and it tacoed that rear drive shaft. Now, I will say a few good things about this truck. It has a lot of power. On 4S, this thing can do effortless backflips. Effortless, no problem at all. Tons and tons of power. The diffs, however, do absolutely need to be retuned. It bleeds almost everything to the front end, so that's going to be an issue. And the settings on the ESC, the brakes are set good, and I'm one of those people that don't like very heavy brakes. I like very light brakes, but the punch setting is super low. So I do want to adjust that, and that guy is a freaking madman with that X-Maxx. So I do want to adjust that. And another thing about this truck is that the tires balloon way too bad, even for my taste. Like I've always said, I'm not one to really criticize tires for ballooning. I actually don't mind it. I know it kind of impedes your ability to go like super fast, and it makes your handling to where it's not as great, but I haven't really had issues with tires ballooning before, and these are just so soft. They're so soft that ballooning is definitely going to be an issue. I am trying to relatively give this thing a good test while trying not to break it God, that guy's a madman. While trying not to break it instantly like I did last time. And two RCs will always find each other. Everybody knows that. Well, let's hear a little bit of music. I'll jump back in a little bit, but just kind of enjoy it. There's a lot of people out here. There's a lot going on. That guy is a freaking animal with that X-Maxx. And yeah, this thing definitely needs help. So hopping back in, I'd say things are going a lot better than they did the first time, but it's not a real super fun experience because I'm just worried that I'm not gonna land one of these perfectly like that. That was really scary because just a little bit more back and it could have been the end of the day for this thing. So while this thing can be fun, and while it has power and you know, it is a fun truck, I can't say that. The driving experience is pretty good outside of like a few things like the range. You have to keep this truck close to you. You have to be mindful when you're steering because the steering servo is really terrible. And it's more of a feel thing. You can feel the truck just pushing, you know. It could be the tires too. The tires are just so soft, they're not hooking up very well. Oh, we crashed there. Luckily, we didn't bend the chassis in half on that one. But all in all, this truck, it might look like a lot of fun and everything to drive, but it's mostly nerve-wracking because once you have a crash like I did in the beginning, in the first couple minutes of driving this truck, it just kind of takes the fun out of it because you're just worried about that next wreck. Like, I don't tend to care too much about breaking RCs, but this thing is pretty new. I want to get it tested. I want to get the word out there before, you know, a bunch of people end up buying this thing and potentially are very unsatisfied basically with it. But it is fun. It does run. It's definitely waterproof. It has power. It has lots of power. Like I said, the only thing I really want to do is turn up the punch on the ESC. But I mean, this thing's got power for days. Like, this is just 4S, you know, kind of running around, half throttle, maybe 3/4 throttle. The tires are completely ballooning and everything, and you know, it's still got loads and loads and loads of power. But I would ask you to please, I know this isn't like the best video because I had the voiceover and everything, and we just hit LVC, but please thumb up if you like this video, thumbs down if you didn't. Subscribe to Killer Off-Road Hobbies and click that bell, and we'll see you on the next video.